Seeing people react to the dog. My husband, he says, if I had $1 for everybody that pet my dog, we wouldn't need to sell snow cones.
What's up, everybody? My name is Adam, and I'm the host of the UKnowAdamTsang podcast, the show that is dedicated on bringing on passionate people, learning about their stories, and delivering value to entrepreneurs. So if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and follow, like, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the UKnowAdamTsang podcast, where you get to know a little bit more about people, passions, and all things business. Today, sitting across the way, I have Miss Julie Miller of BigDog SnowCones. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Julie, I am so excited to speak with you today. I recently started venturing into the food truck business, and I see your truck very often all over town. So I know that you guys are killing it, but I really want to know a little bit about kind of how you got into the business, the story behind BigDog, and just everything that's involved with that. So,
well, we believe it or not, it started very, very small.
Okay.
We were actually doing home improvement when my husband Ivy got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Okay. Timeline. So when was this?
This was early 21.
So in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so he was unable to grip screwdrivers, unable to grip impacts, and was dropping things. And to be quite honest, our relationship really wasn't going to survive him sitting on a bucket telling me what to do the rest of our lives in the home improvement world. So we, his children, his two children, Aiden and Ryder, were riding go-karts at a Shady Oaks Raceway, which is their family-owned go-kart track. My husband's daddy runs that. And go-kart racing is very expensive. And they were buying $125 worth of tires here, $125 worth of tires there. And I said, we got to do something to support this habit y'all got. So I bought an Amazon snow cone machine and 4 gallons of syrup and started selling snow cones at the go-kart track. And the first day I made like $100, and boom, there was BigDog.
Love that. Love that. So why, I guess, the question I would come to is like, why snow cones?
Well, at the time, nobody knew that Burrow Snow was in the brew. Nobody knew that, what was the other one? Snow La La was across the road. And I guess all 3 of us at the same time said, oh, Statesboro doesn't have snow cones. Yes. So we all 3 went at it at the same time.
Love that.
So Burrow Snow's got their brick and mortar, and we just went food truck route completely. Yeah. And thought it was a niche that Statesboro didn't have and could use.
Was this in the middle of the summer? Because it gets hot down in Statesboro. So obviously kind of like that's what
the business actually started brewing. I think I started all the legwork in like January, February of 21, and we were licensed with everything. Business license, food truck applications all through the city and the county and through the Department of Public Health. All that came to a fruition and complete by May, and that's when we opened May of 21.
And how has business been since then?
We started off in the old Kmart parking lot in front of Tractor Supply. We had a contract with the company that owns that parking lot. They allowed us to sit there for a fee, and got our name out there. And I was hawking Facebook. I was doing all these event searches and all these things, and got us in here, got us in there. We did food truck festivals. And Metter was our first big event, and our name kind of got out there. And vendors for other events, we kind of share events, if you will. So, we found out about other events. We got the Vidalia Onion Festival. Yep. So we pretty much stayed booked every weekend doing some type of event somewhere. Some weekends, multiple events on multiple days, and it gets kind of crazy, but we managed to handle it.
That's awesome. That's
yes,
awesome.
Sir.
So let's take it kind of like to the beginning. Obviously, do you remember kind of like, it seems like you guys were faced with a challenge.
Yes.
Obviously, with your husband kind of like getting diagnosed with the illness, Do you remember that moment of like, how that made you feel? Like, was that like, what are we going to do? Like,
yes.
Do you remember that moment?
Yes. So, our dog at the time, because we only had one, we had George.
Okay. And what type of dog is he?
He's a Harlequin European Great Dane.
And what does that mean?
It means he's really ginormous.
How many pounds is that? Is he?
He's about 185 pounds.
Wow.
So he went everywhere with us in the home improvement business. We had a trailer that had air conditioning. So if he wasn't welcome on the property wherever we were doing home improvement, he stayed in the trailer. Mm-hmm. His life was with us. It always has been. So we wanted something we could do and integrate him into the business. And, well, we bought the trailer to have a porch. That way George could stay on the porch while I was doing the snow cones, and my husband could talk to people about the dogs. Wouldn't have to worry about him dropping anything. He was just going to be able to interact with the public.
What, was the trailer part of the home improvement? Or
No,
was
the snow cone trailer.
Got you.
The trailer we purchased it for George to be on the back porch.
Yeah.
Since then, we've accumulated another dog.
Okay.
Oscar.
Okay.
And Oscar is 100% European Great Dane, which means he's even more ginormous. George is only 60%. So Oscar's about 215 pounds.
215 pounds.
Of dog.
Dog.
Yes, sir.
Do they think that they are that big?
No.
No.
They are lap dogs. They are complete lap dogs.
Doesn't that cut off the circulation too?
Yes. Yes. They have to be brief lap dogs, not long-term lap dogs.
That's fun.
But they're great. They're a part of our everyday life. We love them like they're our children. And I won't lie, they attract business.
Yes.
So when we go to these festival and events, you've got other snow cone vendors, but you can't pet the dogs at the other snow cone vendors.
That's right.
We also offer 125 flavors.
Okay.
Including sugar-free flavors, which nobody else that I've seen offers that many choices. So we have the outrageous flavors, dill pickle. We have orchid vanilla magic. We have red velvet cake. We have mojito. We have Bahama Mama, White Russian. Then we've got your typical flavors, cherry, strawberry, blue raspberry that everybody loves. So we've got a wider variety, just to explore your palate and try something new with us.
How did the connection between snow cones and Big Dog happen? Like, why did we make the decision that it was going to be named BigDog SnowCones?
Well, it was just a joke at first.
Was it?
Back at the racetrack, because George would sit there with me at the racetrack while I would sell snow cones out of my Amazon machine. And, we're going to make a business. We're going to call it BigDog SnowCones. And it stuck.
Yeah.
It's kind of catchy.
Yep.
You see we've got the logo
going
on.
That's right. Love it.
My husband has the other shirt on. He's our logo with the dog hiking his leg on the snow cone, and it's "Don't eat the yellow snow."
Yeah, got you. Love that.
So,
did you have any prior business experience?
I was actually a dental hygienist.
Okay.
For about 11 years. Then I got out of that and went into farming. So I do have some business experience with that, because when you're a farmer, you don't only play in the dirt. You actually have to deal with the bank on operating loans and balance your finances with buying fertilizer, seed, and fuel and all that stuff. So,
are you still farming now?
No,
or? Okay.
No.
So,
no, sir.
So
strictly Big Dog.
Strictly Big Dog. Okay.
And then I ran the home improvement business, the financial side of that as well.
Mm-hmm. And then for you, so during this transition, what kind of have you learned along the way? Because you are very now deep in kind of like entrepreneurship. Like this is what entrepreneurship is all about.
Yes.
Starting out from a racetrack where you're selling from an Amazon machine.
That's right.
Until like you have your trailer, you have kind of like all these different components that you're kind of like getting into. Yes,
sir. Well, I've learned that employees are very difficult to find. Everybody says they want to work, they want to work, they want to work. And it's hard to find somebody that their schedule accommodates our schedule. Mm-hmm. We don't work your typical 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 hours. We are pretty much consumed on weekends by what we do.
Yeah.
So we start, like this week, we'll be Thursday, we'll be at Tinsel and Tidings.
Yep.
Friday, we'll be at the Downtown Chili Cook-Off holiday event. First Friday. Saturday, we'll be in Pembroke. And then Sunday, we'll be in Millen. So, yeah, and we don't sleep on the weekends. We just live, breathe, and eat Big Dog. So finding employees that can work those hours is difficult, and finding people that have work ethic to work has been difficult. And other than that, we love it. There's not many challenges other than, you gotta do the work yourself. You know, people see all this on, they think, oh, well, you just work on weekends. No, we have to restock the truck. We've got to clean the trailer. We've got to do inventory. So there's a lot of behind the scenes during the week that we do. So it's pretty much a 24, 7-day-a-week job.
You mentioned that you love it.
We do.
What do you love about it?
Love interacting with the people. I'm very much a people person. My husband is too. Seeing people react to the dog. My husband, he says, if I had $1 for everybody that pet my dog, we wouldn't need to sell SnowCones.
That's a business idea.
Yes. And when we're slow because the weather's cold and the SnowCones really aren't selling, we're like, well, maybe we should start charging $1 per picture with the dogs.
Love that.
Which we would never do, but So yeah, we do chicken fingers.
Okay.
We do coffee. We do cappuccinos. We do hot chocolate during the cooler weather. We do popcorn shrimp, French fries, funnel cakes, deep fried Oreos. So we've expanded the business to actually George is no longer on the porch. He's off the porch, and we're cooking on the porch.
What do the dogs think about everything that's happened?
They love it. Oscar's been raised in it.
Okay.
So when we brought him home July of 21, so we'd been in business for about 3 months then, he was raised with Big Dog. So he doesn't know anything different. George has learned that he can bark at people and get put back in the truck because he annoys my husband and myself, and he can go sit in the AC. So he's learned that behavior pretty well. But Oscar loves it. He loves the people. Now he does snatch the trailer around a little bit when there's another dog and he wants to go play.
Sure.
But yeah, they really seem to enjoy the business as well.
That's amazing. One thing I'll point out, and it's just because I'm familiar with the area, when Big Dog SnowCones came along, there was actually not a lot of food trucks in the area.
No.
Right? There was kind of very few and far between, maybe one or two. I think Johnny Boy had already been
Johnny Boys, yes.
But he was more in kind of like the Savannah market than anything
right.
else. How difficult has that been to kind of open the market? Because you play in an area that is actually relatively unique, right? Because you are obviously the leader of kind of like this type of industry.
Oh, wow.
How has that been? Has there been challenges with that? What has that been on your side of things?
Well, I think in Savannah, like you mentioned, they're a little more receptive to food trucks, and permitting. I don't know because I've never tried to go to Savannah, but permitting, you have to have a specific location that you're going to be on a specific date, and they want you to have a week to decide on that. So it's not like people think, I guess, that we can just pop up anywhere and set up and start selling.
Sure.
We have to have permission from the landowner, notarized, and then submitted to the city and approved.
Yeah.
And it's $25 per location. But that's been kind of difficult to deal with. I didn't realize it was going to be like that when I started. But it's worked out. We've stayed busy. Local businesses have us cater employee appreciations.
Sure.
So you don't. Most of those events don't require a permit because we're not selling to the public. We're providing almost like a catering service.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
We do stuff for daycares for the kids. We do stuff for the schools at the end of the year for SnowCones on field day and things like that. But as far as actually being able to just pop up wherever you want, it's not like that.
It's not as easy as that people think.
No.
Does that make it a little bit difficult for kind of the food truck culture of Statesboro to kind of grow?
I think that there are probably some maybe different things that could be done in Statesboro, but I mean, I understand where they're coming from.
Sure.
They don't want you popping up on Main Street just selling out of the. I mean, I understand.
It makes sense.
I understand why the protocol is the way it is.
That's right.
But knowing that you have to follow the rules.
That's right.
And I'm not a rule breaker, so I try to follow the rules.
Love that. Have you had people come up to you and ask you
Yes.
how to start a food truck?
Yes.
And what do you tell them?
That it's a lot of hard work. I always tell people, don't open a barbecue truck. These events we go to, like the Peanut Festival, I think there was maybe 6, 7 barbecue trucks there. So it seems like barbecue is everybody's niche, but it's everybody's niche.
Sure.
So that's going to cut down on the money you make.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Your profit.
Well, there's more competition, right?
Yeah, more competition. Like we did an event in southern Georgia that was something new to us. We thought we'd try it, and I won't name the event, but we won't be back because they had 8 other snow cone vendors there. So, I mean, for us to travel an hour and 45 minutes away and then have 8 other snow cone vendors cut way into our profit. So it really helps when you go to some events, if you are looking to do this, that you would ask your event coordinator when you sign up, how many other barbecue trucks are there? How many other snow cone vendors are there? Because if they're not limiting the amount of vendors per product, then it's going to cut into your overall profit.
Yeah. For these events, what has been the event that really like set it in place where, wow, this is working? Right? Because I'm sure like at the beginning, it's kind of like, all right, we'll try this. We'll kind of like get a feel for it. But do you remember kind of like that moment in time where you were like, man, this is awesome?
Well, actually, the very first big event that we did was the Metter Food Truck Festival.
Okay.
And I think that was October of 21. No, it was earlier than that. It was in June of 21. So we hadn't been in business like a month and a half, 2 months. And we killed it. We thought we just absolutely killed it. We had a line, if you're familiar with Metter, downtown. It was literally the whole length of the long way and then turn back around the corner the other way. And nobody else had a line like that.
Yeah.
So I figured we were doing something right.
That's amazing. And what do you think that was? I mean, obviously the selection. Right? Like that is something that you mentioned earlier that, that BigDog SnowCones does provide.
Well, we have the brand.
Yes.
We have the catchy name. We have the dogs. We have 125 flavors. And I honestly think that, our staff, my husband and myself, we try to just be as friendly as we can to everybody. It's more personal. We talk to everyone in line.
Yep.
It's not just, what do you want? Okay, here's your money. Let's go. We talk to them. We joke around with them. We have fun with our customers.
That's great. That's great. So we had to, earlier the question was, what other things have you told people that want to get into the business? So don't do barbecue.
Don't do barbecue.
Don't do snow cones. I'm going to put that one in.
There you go. Thank you.
What else? What other advice do you have for them?
Find your niche. So, it's something like there's a lady that does nothing but like iced teas and root beer floats. You've got to find something that nobody else does, or there's not a lot around here, because there are so many people that are just doing lots of the same things at these events.
Sure.
And do it well. Like our niche is, okay, we have 125 flavors. Kona Ice doesn't have that.
That's right.
You may know the Kona name.
That's right.
But and do it well. Like our ice is very, very finely shaved. When I train my employees, I'm like, if it's coming out wet, don't serve it. There's quality control in what you do. So find your niche and do it well.
Love that. I want to talk a little bit about kind of like the transition. You were a dental hygienist by trade.
Yes.
And you did that for an extended period of time.
Yes.
And, during that period of time, did you ever feel maybe that something was missing, or like, you found yourself into here, or did you fall into it? Like, what was that transition like, right? Because, I mean, obviously, like, it's a respectable, like, industry to be in.
Make good
like,
money.
Exactly. How do you think about that?
I felt like a caged animal.
You did.
Yes, I am very much an outdoorsy person. I like to be outside. I don't know if I come across this way. Some people tell me I do, but I'm very independent.
Okay.
I'm very outspoken.
Okay.
So kind of, I guess there's an innuendo of I don't take authority very well.
Okay.
So I like to be my own boss. And that has played well into the start of this business as well.
Love that. So what is kind of like on the horizon for BigDog SnowCones?
Okay, so this was like the perfect opportunity to come in here and do this podcast because they've been asking for it and now they're getting it. We're opening a brick and mortar store.
Super exciting.
Here in Statesboro, yes. And we're focusing on the sweets and the snow cones.
Love that.
So our store will offer the snow cones, obviously. We'll offer funnel cakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning to do some toppings with those funnel cakes instead of just plain Jane funnel cakes.
Okay.
There's really not a whole lot of room to expand the funnel cakes on the trailer with strawberry topping, blah, 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 blah. But we'll do all that in the store.
Okay.
We're going to do cotton candy.
Okay.
We have 50 flavors of cotton candy. We've done some orders in the past. We've done some things for Georgia Southern with the cotton candy, some of the schools. But we'll have that in the store. And also we're going to bring back the chocolate-covered pretzel rods. We do an awesome Reese cup pretzel, and we do a turtle with the caramel and the pecans and the chocolate that are divine, out of this world.
You guys already have a location secured.
Yes.
Are you allowed to tell me where that location is, or do you want that to be a mystery?
I'm having somebody review the lease.
Okay.
Before we sign papers, but
Got
I'm
you.
pretty sure that it's a go. I've read it. I think it's good. I just wanted to have somebody legally read it and make for sure. So we're going to keep it under wraps, or are we going to tell? Okay. Hubby says tell it. So it's going to be next to Ocean Galley.
Okay.
Across from Statesboro High School.
That's amazing.
In the Big Lots Shopping Center.
Super exciting.
Yes.
Are you guys going to be inside that the center?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right next to Ocean Galley on the end. It used to be a vape shop, I think, at one time.
That's right.
Yeah,
so that's super exciting, right?
Yeah, we're really pumped.
Yeah. How does that step? Because again, if you look back at the history, you literally started from a go-kart racing track.
Yes, it is scary.
It is?
It's scary to jump in like that.
How do you face that fear? I think a lot of times entrepreneurs, taking that leap of faith, and time again, you guys have taken that leap of faith and it's paid off.
It's a gut feeling. It's just the gut.
Let's talk about that. It's something that you feel inside?
Yes.
The timing's right.
Yeah, I mean, because we've hemmed and hawed, we've looked at other locations, and for whatever reason, it's already been rented, or no, they're doing something else with it, and it's just like, okay, what meant to be. I'm one of those. I have the karma tattoo. What comes around goes around. Everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. So I felt like that we were walking into Big Lots one day, and I was like, oh, that place is for rent right there. And I called, and he was like, yeah, here's the lot code. Go check it out. And I'm like, okay. And he told us the price of rent, and he's like, it's available. We're flexible with the lease terms. And we went to talking business, and I was like, well, let me sleep on it. And he's like, okay. And then he sent the lease over, and I'm still hemming and hawing. And then I'm like, let's do it. So
super exciting.
Yes.
One thing I will point out is, how often, because, you're going into Big Lots, obviously, to buy something. How often are you thinking about your business, right? Because you, as a business owner, you have to have your eyes, especially if you're, being conscious of, opportunities, right?
Right.
How actively are you seeking out those opportunities in your day-to-day interactions?
Well, every day.
Every day?
I mean, my husband's on Facebook all the time.
Uh-huh.
What are we doing on this day? I'm like, I don't know, honey. Let me check my book. And I'll check my book. And he's like, what are we doing on this day?
Uh-huh.
And And they were like, well, why didn't we go to this?
So it's just constant.
It's constant. We're always looking for opportunities. We'll come feed the staff up here, All you got to do is ask us. Local businesses ask us to do things all the time like that. We do like to give back to the community and do some things too. I think we did Night Out on Crime with Bullitt County last year. So we do like to give back to the community. I think we did the Statesboro firefighters and police benefit barbecue cook-off at the fairgrounds last year.
Awesome.
And we gave like 25% of our proceeds to them. So we do like to do stuff like that too. We're not all about us.
Yeah.
We do some things for hospice.
Yeah.
We've done a couple things for them.
Very nice.
Yes.
Are you from Statesboro?
I'm not.
Okay, where are you from originally?
I originally was born in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yes, and I was transported down there to Florida.
Okay.
When I was about 2.
Where in Florida?
Lakeland, Winter Haven area.
Not too familiar.
Central Florida.
Okay.
In between Tampa and Orlando.
Got you.
My husband is born and bred.
Okay.
Yep. Hadn't been far out of Cleto much of his life.
Okay.
At all.
And then so you guys pulled into the Statesboro area.
Yes, my first husband and I moved into the Brooklet area.
Got you.
We had small children at the time, and Brooklet schools were awesome, so we started there. He worked at Gulfstream.
Okay.
And I worked as a dental hygienist.
Love that.
That relationship didn't last, and I found love of my life.
Hey!
So, yeah.
Love that. Let's talk about kind of, we have this very exciting venture coming up very soon. Fingers crossed. I'm going to be super excited about that. What is kind of maybe 5 years down the line? Have you guys thought about kind of where the brand is going to go after that point?
We eventually hope it catches on enough that we franchise some big dog trailers. The only issue with that is, getting people to run it like we do.
Yeah.
We don't want our brand trashed.
That's right.
We want to keep it friendly, keep it personal. And I mean, that would be great to do that. I've tried to get my mom to do that in Savannah. She's kind of wanting to be a little semi-retired from her life. And to be honest with you, I don't think she can maneuver a trailer like that. But anyway.
Gotcha.
Try to get her a small food truck and do something with that. She loves big dogs. She's always had the breed Bouvier. My son and my daughter are out of high school and college, but molecular biology degree and a law student. So don't think they're going to open a big dog franchise. But
you never know.
That would be pretty awesome.
Right? Like, because, dental hygienist, right? That's my
true.
trade.
That's true.
There's something, alluring about entrepreneurship. And I think that oftentimes, people that are looking from the outside, they only see the highlights. They don't see the work that it takes.
Exactly.
But it is very rewarding.
It is.
Working the truck, I think that, being able to be so close to the customer and them feeling like that you guys, like the care that you guys put into your products and as well as the service, that's something that's
makes me very prideful.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We went to the pumpkin parade at school with my stepson, my husband's youngest child this year, and to have so many of the kids in the parade. Hey, George. Hey, Oscar.
Oh, I love that.
Didn't know us, but hey, George. Hey, Oscar. So they know Big Dog.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That makes me
How
feel
is
proud.
it caring for a dog that size? We mentioned a little bit about they're lap dogs, but what about kind of their health? Are they pretty healthy?
They're very healthy. They get the zoomies about 20 minutes a day.
What does that mean?
The zoomies, where they're really active and they want to play and have fun. And then they're couch dogs.
Gotcha.
So they're not very active dogs.
Okay.
They get a dozen eggs every morning for breakfast.
They eat eggs?
Yes, every morning. I get breakfast too, but my husband cooks them breakfast every morning. And they go through everybody always asks, they go through about a 45-pound a bag of dog food a week.
Wow.
Between the two of them.
So we're constantly getting dog food.
Yes. Yes, constantly.
Yeah. So you mentioned eggs. Is that like a typical kind of like breakfast for?
Well, the protein is good for them. It's good for their coats, and it's raw, natural protein for them. So it's not anything processed like you'd get in the dog food. You know, they have 14% crude protein. You don't. Some dog foods you don't know what you're getting, but with eggs, it's a straight digestible protein for them. Scrambled.
Nice.
Sometimes a little over easy. They like that little runny. It drips on the dog food that's underneath, and they'll eat more dog food that way. But yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for
again.
having
I
me.
have a huge appreciation for you. Again, opening this industry specifically in Statesboro. I think that having a entrepreneur that is so dedicated to their craft. And being able to offer the service that you guys offer. I think that that's something unique. And I'm excited about kind of the space that's coming up.
I am too.
You have to keep me updated.
I will.
Definitely will, show up to the opening.
Yes.
And looking forward to everything that you guys do in the future.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool. Hey! Hey!